Exclamation everybody, and welcome to another channel update, this one for May 2017. I try to do these at least once a month. It's becoming more of like a every 2 month thing, but I've been trying to do them every, once a month, where I kind of peel back the curtain a little bit and show you some of the inner workings of the channel, what I'm thinking about, what my feelings are on the channel right now, and streaming and various other things going on, just as a way to sort of, bring some of the reality, I guess, if you will, back into the thing, and kind of give you a glimpse as to what's going on in my brain. It doesn't necessarily mean that anything interesting or anything new will come out of it, but it's just it's a little something to allow me to reconnect a bit and be a little realistic about what's going on. So the game in the background is Evoland. I went back and started playing that a little bit, and honestly, I have probably more footage than I actually need because I got re-hooked on it again. I've already played through the game once before. I don't really want to play through it a second time because towards the end it gets like super grindy. But you'll at least get to enjoy the first 40 minutes or so, if I even bother to go that long. I don't think this is going to be a 40-minute thing, but you never know. Sometimes I get off on tangents here and there. So what's been going on as far as the channel statistics go since March, the last time we had this little update here? In March, we had 104,676 total channel views. We're up to 108,125 total channel views. Very cool. And we went from 391 subscribers to 399. Thanks for joining all the new subscribers, and thanks for sticking around to all the old veterans who have been very, very kind in their not only in the comments that I've seen, but also in just kind of hanging around and just give me a little nudge here and there. When it's necessary and need it, and much appreciate it. So also, as far as minutes watched goes, we had 13,452 back in March. We went down to 11,824, but that I expect to go constantly up and down as depending on the length of videos and different content and all that stuff. So that's always going to be a fluctuating thing. And as far as follows and subscribers not subscribers, but follows and people who are following the my live streaming channels over on YouTube Gaming, Memory Leak Doom has got still 25 subscribers. Over our Memory Leak Death on Twitch has got 50, and Memory Leak Death on Beam has still 1. And I'm going to talk a little bit about live streaming in a bit here. There's changes that I want to do. There's going to be changes for a few things here, I think, but the live streaming in particular is something that's going to change quite a bit. So I'll leave that. I'll dangle that out there as a little nugget to keep you listening. So get them watch minutes up. Or you can just fast forward, whatever the case may be. I ain't down with the technology of YouTube. But series currently going on, Cosmic Star Heroine, very much enjoying that. It seems like a lot of people are following it well into episode 10 now. Which is very unusual. I don't usually get that many people, for any long Let's Play. Usually you see a drop off that pretty much goes off to about 0 or 1 viewer when you get up to about episode 10 or so. But quite a few people have been, looks like they've been tuning in, enjoying it. I think one of the really cool things about Cosmic Star Heroine as a game is that you may think from watching my videos that I am purposely cutting them on dramatic moments, and that I'm purposely cutting them to 25 minutes. And in all honesty, yeah, I do skip a few things here and there, but in all honesty, the game is structured in such a way that every 25 to 30 minutes of gameplay, you end up with some very cool moment. That's kind of not exactly true in the part of the game I'm in now, which you haven't seen yet, which is I'm in like an Old West, I'm on Romu and I'm doing like sort of the Old West town thing. That's gotten really slow, so you're going to see a lot more cuts in there. But up to that point, it was really very consistent. In like 25 minutes in, we have some kind of epic battle and something good, and something moves forward the story, and I can sort of cut it on a dramatic quote unquote moment and keep you wanting more for the next episode. So there's not a lot of games that I could say have that, and it's very cool to see that here, because it kind of does like really give you incentives. Even as you're playing, you're like, oh, I got another little nugget of information here, and oh, the story is continuing to progress. It's not getting slow per se, although it does get a little bit slow as you'll see in a bit, but not overwhelmingly so. Because a lot of times when you have these long RPGs, there's hours and hours of just either grinding or just kind of busy work or something, and then when you get back to the main quest, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, that's where we were, and you have to kind of remember through the fog of war of everything that's happened, what was going on. And this one is very nice in that it's like, it's constantly giving you sort of maybe a guitar riff or a shot of adrenaline every half an hour or so, and it's very cool. I like how they've paced it. I really do. I think it's really cool in that respect, and it makes my job a little bit easier too, because I can keep I don't have to do that much as far as editing is concerned, because everything is kind of on a good pace going forward. So that's going to continue. I will definitely be playing through that entire game. Earthlock Festival of Magic. I owe you guys another episode of that. I've been trying to record it. I'm at the very end of the game, and the very end of the game is, my goodness, it's like if the rest of the game was grindy, the very end of the game is like 300 times more grindy than that. Like there's literally, so what I've done is I'm recording it without commentary, and then I'm just going to insert the commentary as post commentary, because it's boss battles and stuff, and there's a lot of there's a lot of not only redoing stuff, but there's a lot of dead time between the bosses, where it's like, for instance, I am trying to get to the final boss right now. I'm in the final level, what I believe is the final level, and you're crossing and this is kind of spoilery, but you're not really going to see it when I put the video out anyway, but you're crossing a sort of dreamscape, and as you cross, there's like little floating detritus on a pond, sort of, and as you walk through the pond, shadows crop up from underwater and come after you, and it's shadows of your own party members. And I'm not talking like, one or two shadows. I'm talking like 20 of them will show up. And then you gotta fight 20 of them, right? Because as you walk through the water, you slow down enough that they just easily catch up with you. And they're all like kind of wrecking your face a bit. And it's a real, it pisses me off to no end, because it's like, I know why they put it there. It's one of those things where it's like, developers do this all the time, and game designers do this all the time, where it's like, we are having trouble balancing our game, so the final level is going to be, we're going to just whittle you away because we can't make up a boss that will be quite balanced to the level that you're at. So we're just going to keep whittling away at your health potions and everything else that you brought with you, so that when you go to fight the final boss, it's a lot harder than it would have been otherwise. And that, every time I see that happen, it pisses me off, because that's like the developer, the designer has just thrown in a towel at that point. They're like, we can't balance this, so let's just do some bullshit. here, and then that'll balance it. It'll all come out. The equation will be true by the end of this, and it's just it annoys the crap out of me. So I'm trying to do as much of that nonsense off camera as I can, because it would just be an episode of me just constantly bitching and moaning, and all I really want to do is just record it, and I want to get to the end. I want to see what the final resolution is to the story, because I was invested in the story. I'm not invested in the grindiness. One of the things that really caught me off guard, and that also has kind of pissed me off, is that I've hit the level cap. The level cap is 20, and so going up and facing off against all these shadows absolutely does nothing for me, because I get no XP for anything for my party because it's all leveled up. So it just, even on top of all that, it's like it seems to be specifically designed to just piss you off, and it's certainly doing it for me. So until I can get through the final boss on that, I can't really put another video out. So that is what's happened to that. I'm hoping, I've crossed my fingers, I'm hoping that I can get and beat the final boss, even if I gotta cheat. I don't care at this point. At this point, I'll cheat at the game just to be able to see the final ending story. I want the payoff of the story. I don't really give a damn about the mechanics anymore. The mechanics just piss me off on it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do a save game hack or something, if that's even possible, just to get past all that, because it's nonsense. But anyway, that's what's happening with that. That will eventually come out. Obviously, that'll probably just be one video where I just beat the final bosses and let the credits roll and talk about what I think about the game. So that's hopefully maybe this weekend I'll be able to get some time to just sit there and bang my head against the keyboard for 6 hours or whatever is necessary to get through that. But that's where we stand there. The Horizon Zero Dawn. Now there's a game that I've been really enjoying, even though there's a little bit of grindiness in it. That I have to get back to. What you've seen the last couple of episodes is stuff that I recorded a couple of weeks ago. So I need to get back to that and record some more. That's a weekend thing, because the thing with that is I enjoy that game so much that when I start to record it, it ends up being like a 6-hour recording session, just because I get so hooked on it. Starting to make a ton of progress with the quests, and you'll see more of that. I have some more footage that I have to render out. I'll probably do that, probably have that rendered out and ready to go for, the day that you're listening to this and seeing this this update video, probably, because I know it's Wednesday for me now. You'll probably see this and the other thing Thursday. I haven't recorded anything tonight because I'm kind of in a weird, I'm mentally tired. Well, it's kind of both, right? It's like I did some exercising, so I'm kind of physically tired, but I also have a bunch of energy, but I'm also tired mentally, and so it's like I'm in this weird spot where I could literally sit and stare at a blank screen for the next 3 hours and I'd be perfectly content. It's a weird it's a weird phenomenon that I occasionally get. So I haven't really accomplished anything today, but I have a bunch of footage still recorded from things, so there's that. So stuff to still look forward to. This is about the only thing I can muster the energy to record right now. Star Trek Online is continuing. I owe you guys an episode on that. I have an episode recorded. It was about 2 hours long, so I'm trying to edit that down to something reasonable. There was a lot of story that happened, but it wasn't it was spread out across the long session that I played. So I'm trying to figure out a way to sort of intercut that so that it sticks closely to the story stuff, and you don't see all the not so fun battles that I had to engage in. Although there was some PvE that I did during the game in the Dyson Sphere, so I'll probably keep some of that in, because that was interesting to see how many ships we had that were all, you know, firing at once, and it was deafening almost at the sound of it, but it was pretty cool to see that. So that's all recorded and ready to go. I just have to edit it together and render it. So that will be continuing. My goal of that is to play through all of the single player stuff that is available in the game, and we're pretty far along. I think I completed the Dyson Sphere stuff, and now all that's left is the Delta Rising things, which there are quite a few of those still left. And then there's like a season 13, I think, that's starting now, that might have a few more things. I'm not entirely sure with it, but that's where we stand on that. I had debated going back and playing through the Romulan campaign. I've been following Space Game Junkie, and I've been on their Discord a bunch and kind of lurking as I do. I'm not a very people-oriented person per se, so I tend to, and also I've got it in the background while I'm at work, coding and stuff, so I don't always have the time to go and look at things. There's been quite a few times where I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I have this tab open. I go and look at it, and it's like 700 messages unread, and I'm like, oh well, I guess I don't know what conversation's going on today. But it's over there. I think someone had mentioned that the Romulan campaign in Star Trek Online was probably the most interesting one, and of course I'm playing through Federation because I like Federation and stuff. I had actually I spun up a tune that does Klingon. That was interesting to hear Worf and stuff at the very beginning there, but I didn't get very far with it, so I don't know if the Klingon campaign is any good or not. But I had debated going back and just doing the Romulan campaign because I've never done it, and I don't know. I don't know if I have. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to continue the series for that long on YouTube. It's pretty long in the tooth as it is now. We're almost at 50 episodes on it, and if I were to do something like that, I would probably do it in a live stream situation and not cut it up into episodes. That seems more reasonable, quote unquote, to me, just because I've done quite a bit in there, and I feel like I've done it to death, at least as far as a series is concerned, a story-based series is concerned. Anyway, like if it was like a Minecraft thing or like a sandbox building game, then yeah, sure, 50 more episodes, just go at it, because you can always kind of make those fresh as you go. When it comes to relying on a game story, though, at some point you get to a point where it's like, all right, I think we've beat this horse quite a bit, and it has ceased to be. It is no more. So we'll see on that. My initial thought here is that once I finish the Federation campaign, I will be ending that series, and then anything I do beyond that will be something that just exists only as a live stream somewhere. So that's where we're going with that. I decided to turn my side quest video of Kit, which is a little puzzle game with sort of circuit board design kind of thing going on there, and logic and all that stuff. I decided to turn that into a Let's Play and actually play through the rest of the puzzles that are available on that. I think I got as far as the last recording session, got as far as I think puzzle 38 or so. So I have a couple more episodes of that I can put out there, and I will be finishing that one up. So that should be a relatively short series, I would imagine. Once I get to puzzle 65, that'll be it for me on that. But I was enjoying it enough that I was like, you know what? I don't do too many of these puzzle games on the channel. I mean, I do one-off videos of them, or maybe two-offs if it's not a very short game. But I never really do a full-on Let's Play of them. So I thought, let's try it. Why not? Let's go out of the comfort zone for a little bit and see what happens. And of course, the puzzle games are probably the best ones. Are probably best to do on a live stream, because then you can have people helping you out. In theory, anyway. And I do have, I think I got The Witness as well from one of the monthly bundle. I think it was last month's monthly bundle or something like that. Had it in there. I've always been kind of afraid of that game and games like that, because I've heard the puzzles get really, really crazy pants in there. But that is the kind of thing that I would say, like, hey, I'd probably play that on a stream or something. And actually, I wanted to play the Talos Principle as well. That might be... I played, like, the first couple puzzles of it, and it seemed like something I could grasp, and had a nice, interesting sci-fi, robot story. So that might be another one that I do, like, on a stream or something like that. But as far as, like, Portal or Portal 2 or any of those things, like, no, I can't. There comes a point where the puzzles are so intricate and so not based in logic that I can't, I no longer find them to be fun. Like, I like logic puzzles, because I basically engage in logic puzzles every freaking day of my life when I write code. I mean, it's sad but true. You gravitate towards the things you are used to, and for me, that's the logic puzzles in puzzle games that are based on those, like, AND gates and logical NOR gates or exclusive OR gates and all those things. Tend to be something that I gravitate towards. And even like in the what was the one that I played that was kind of like Portal? It was I can't think of the name of it now. I played it a couple months ago. Played through the whole thing. It was there was the woman was the protagonist, woman scientist protagonist, who was on a different planet in the solar system, and they found, like, the Fountain of Youth kind of thing, and the name of it just is Turing Test. That is what it is. There's the name. It came back to my head. The Turing Test. That one was more my speed, even though really the part of that I really enjoyed was the bonus one that had all the, like, Boolean logic and stuff in it. I enjoyed that part. The rest of it was enough that I could deal with it. It wasn't too brain teasing. But anyway, that's where we are with those, and side quests are continuing. I think I've hit I have over 200 side quests now. I meant to do that. I meant to look before I started recording here. I guess I have the page up. I might as well do the search now. But I believe we have surpassed the 200 side quests videos. Let me see what it says here. I don't know how many is on a page. There's 2 pages. It's I wonder if it'll tell me. I wonder if it will tell me. Actually, you know what? I can just go to the playlist. That'll tell me. Killing some time. You get to watch some Evoland. 203 side quest videos is what we have. So we surpassed our 200th one was Next Jump, it looks like. Let's see, one. Blah, 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 blah. No, that was 202, 201. So it was probably actually House of the Dying Sun was, I think, the 200th video. So those are continuing. I have a couple of games from DigiPen that are freebie games that I'm taking a look at that are actually, halfway decent. I mean, they're not, certainly not AAA quality, but they're, for student projects, they're not half bad, honestly. And we just saw one, Xeno Rift was one of those. Interesting concepts around. I tend to gravitate towards the interesting concept stuff because, I play a lot of games, and, if you've got some kind of hook that's a little bit different than anything else that I've seen, then obviously I'm going to sort of gravitate towards that kind of thing. And we have a couple of videos, a couple of games I want to revisit. I think Lightspeed Frontiers had a lot of updates. There's a couple of games I just bought on Steam that look rather interesting. I think the developer for Orblox C, which is another puzzle game, had asked me if I would take a look at their game, which I actually purchased. So I played a little bit of it off camera, so I kind of get the gist of it. I just have to sit down and record it. It's kind of a relatively straightforward slidey puzzle game. So that's that on those. So the side quests are continuing. You're probably going to see more of those. You'll see me doing those a little bit more frequently, probably. And I'll be mixing it up with, early access things and freebie things and maybe even some browser-based games. Who knows? But I'll be mixing it up as I tend to do. And I'm going to, as far as YouTube is concerned, I am going to try and limit the number of recurring series that I have to maybe 2 or 3. So in this case, it'll be Cosmic Star Heroine, it'll be Kit, it'll be Horizon Zero Dawn, and then STO. So I've already broken it there, but then side quests will be in there in a bunch there. It seems to me that I think people are more interested in the side quest videos and seeing what these new videos are, new games that are out there that they can kind of look at. The traditional Let's Play stuff still gets some views, which is fine. I'm not doing this all for the views. I'm doing this all for myself, honestly. I'm doing this all because I need a hobby, and this is my hobby. So I'll still be doing some of those, but I'm gonna make sure that I cut it down to just a few at a time. So there's a couple other series, like I had Poi going on. I had that other one with the crazy lady with the sorority thing that I forget the name of now. Those are on hold, but they will come back. They'll come back once I finish one of these other series. I'll start to bring those back in. Mass Effect Andromeda is not going to come back in the form that it was in. I have decided that I'm going to switch that over to the new form thing that I'm trying to do. This is why I'm also limiting the number of series I'm doing, is because I'm trying to do this sort of Pixel Trek thing where I have like a scripted 5 to 7 minute video where I almost like a travel video where it's like, here's what I did in game X. And here's what's happened, and here's what happened, and here's my take on things, and try to limit those to like 5 to 7 minutes or so, and it'll be scripted out. So I'm taking time to do that. I'm taking time to actually write those out, which means that's time that I'm not going to be spending doing series. So that's why I'm trying to cut down on the number of series that I'm doing. It also is what's feeding into my desire to do something different with the live streaming. So, I've rambled on for a while, haven't I? I have. Oh, it's okay. It's about half an hour. I'm like, I didn't think I'd be going this long, but there we go. So the live streaming stuff. Now, I've mentioned on multiple occasions that I'm a little bit ticked off with Twitch. And it has nothing to do with the people necessarily on Twitch. It has everything to do with just the business of Twitch. I don't have, I'm a small fish in that giant pond. They've been doing some changes recently that are certainly good for the small fish. The affiliate program, which I just happen to have 50 follows for, but I don't have enough hours streamed or whatever they want it. The affiliate program, the bits, they sort of dangled out you can now stream you can now get encoding options easier, and you can stream at 60 FPS and all this stuff, and then never really actually followed up on it. And a few other things that they've done that are good for the small streamers. The subscription, like the subscription tiers and stuff like that. But they don't have, they talk a good talk, but they don't walk the technological walk is what I'm getting at. I've checked my stream to see if I have the 60 FPS available, and last time I checked it wasn't. I have to, whenever my stream goes out to Twitch, it stutters and sputters and dies, and is just generally unwatchable. It's one thing if it's generally unwatchable because of me. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's when I have to dumb down my stream to a low bit rate just to try to make Twitch happy, even though I'm also streaming to YouTube Gaming, which is happy with a much higher bit rate. Beam is much happier with a much higher bit rate. All these other services are fine. The playing field is even on these other services, right? Twitch, the playing field is very much not even as on a technological level, right? You're either a first world country on Steam, or you're very much third world. And that's the biggest problem I've had with them, is that you do one thing, and it's streaming, and you can't even do that right. And you've got the power now of Amazon behind you. You've got the biggest cloud network, the most expensive, the most revenue generating cloud network out there, and you still can't give everybody a good experience on your site. That's just, it's mind boggling. So, with all that said, that kind of brings me to, I've been rethinking what I want to do as far as streaming is concerned. So I've got, I have no desire to make any money off of any of this stuff. This is just me needing a hobby. There's reasons why I very much desire a hobby. I won't get into those now. They're kind of personal, but it's suffice to say, I've seen other people, I've been in a stressed out situation, and I've realized that I need to have something separate from the stressor, the stressor situation, to sort of decompress, as well as, when I'm not getting any younger, and it will behoove me to have some sort of hobby, because I've seen some older people in my life who retired after many, many years and did not have a hobby and were just completely restless. So I'm trying to fix that before that becomes an actual issue. Now, obviously, I'm not retiring for many, many years forward, and I probably won't be doing this, but it's the idea of having something other than work that is more important to me right now. So that said, back to the streaming stuff. I don't really want a large, amount of a large crowd. I don't necessarily want to attract a large crowd. Because I'm not trying to monetize anything, and there's other problems that come with having a large crowd. So I'm kind of looking at some of these other services, like I think I just signed up for StreamMe is one, and I obviously looking at YouTube Gaming, which it's got its own set of it's good. You're definitely discoverable over there, but it's still YouTube, and YouTube doesn't know what it wants to do with gaming anymore, I think. And this has become very, very clear over the last year or so. It's probably always been this way, but over the last year it's become increasingly clear that they don't know what to do with gaming, because they're focused mostly on the toy unboxings and the makeup channels and all that stuff, and gaming has kind of been the redheaded stepchild. They made another site for us, right? The gaming.youtube.com, but that was more to get the rebel rousing out of the main area. You know what I mean? I feel like that was like all these unwashed masses here, we can't have them intermingling with the beautiful people, so we're going to kind of push them over to the side over here, and we'll just tell them that this is better this way. So it hasn't quite worked out there. That said, I still like streaming on YouTube. It's just that you've got the content ID to worry about, and you've got other things to worry about. It's a very visible platform, and it makes for some interesting times. Let's put it that way. So I was looking at, obviously I looked at Hitbox for a little bit. Hitbox is in this weird spot where it's super, super niche, right? It's like they never really broke out of their little shell. Like, they've got like a few people over there who are just streaming like MOBAs and stuff, and that's about it. Like, nobody goes there for anything else. Like, you can stream whatever you want over there as far as games concerned, and it's nothing but crickets, right? Because they're not there for you. They're not there for that. They're there for their Dotas and their Heroes of the Storm or their League of Legends, right? They're there to watch those things and nothing else. And they're there to watch specific people in those things and nobody else. So they're kind of in this weird niche thing. So streaming to them ended up being just not worth it, because it was literally just crickets every time I'd stream to them. It was wasted bandwidth at not my end, but at Restream's end, basically. So then I'm looking at Beam, and Beam is, to me, there's something I really like about Beam. Yes, they're owned by Microsoft, which is kind of icky, but so far they haven't screwed it up. And that's not to say they won't just someday come down and say, all right, you're all shut down now. But it's so far so good. And I kind of like how they're conducting themselves. Their service is actually pretty good. They've got features on there that are rather nice. They've actually gone and they made a special version of OBS, because OBS is open source. So they actually forked OBS and made an OBS FTL, which FTL is their you can stream through the normal RTMP that normal streaming services do, but you get a delay like you would on a normal streaming service. Like on Twitch, you get like a 20 to 30 second delay between what you say and when people actually hear it. But so you still get that, but they also have their own, what they're calling FTL protocol, where you literally get almost no delay, right? It's just a special protocol that works just for them, that they actually made a version of OBS that has it integrated with it, and you can stream through them directly, and then it supports all kinds of things like viewer interaction buttons and stuff like that if you really want to get into programming things. But it's there's almost no delay, and it goes out there at 60 FPS and very high quality. And so I've been kind of looking at them and going, maybe I should focus a little bit more on this community. So even though I only have like one follow over on Beam, I'm kind of feeling like if I'm going to do more live streaming, I'm probably going to do it over there. And as far as what am I going to live stream, well, I still have a bunch of games that I haven't finished yet. So that's one thing, like Borderlands 2 and all that stuff. But also, I think in June, I believe, I kickstarted a while ago a retro arcade machine called Retro Arch or something like that. I forget what it is. Retro Gaming something or other. But it's basically a little set-top box, basically a Raspberry Pi with that's all put together already for you, and it's got USB ports and it's got the software you need already preloaded on it. And you can go and use it to emulate old games. It's got all the old emulators on it, and you can do what you gotta do. You can load it up as much as you want. It's got a little hard drive in it, all that stuff. So I've thought, obviously that kind of thing, you can sort of do some of that on YouTube. You can definitely do a lot of that on Twitch, but honestly, again, Twitch isn't very appealing to me for the technological reasons more than anything else. So I thought, if I'm going to stream to just Beam sometimes, maybe I'll just do some of these classic games over there. So that might be a thing. Like I've thought about I could maybe stream Super Mario RPG or Star Fox. Man, it's been ages since I played Star Fox, and other things of that nature. So as far as streaming is concerned, I think what's going to happen is there's still going to be a day in the week where I use Restream to stream to multiple things. I may stream to just Beam and Stream Me at times. But I think for the main, I think on Fridays I'll probably stream to, YouTube Gaming and maybe even Twitch too, and also Beam and all that stuff. I think I'm going to cut Twitch out entirely, so it'll probably be just Beam and YouTube Gaming and the Stream Me thing, and then other times during the week or on the weekend, I'm probably just going to stream directly to Beam and just spend some time on there just streaming and just kind of focus a little bit. It'll give me a chance to get my stream layouts together finally. Maybe I'll actually have some more, a little bit more of a professional look to things, and get OBS actually properly set up instead of just kind of half-assing it like I do now, and things like that. I think having a focus over there for streaming is a good thing. And then if I feel later on like I'm producing better stuff, then maybe I'll bring Twitch and stuff back into it again. I honestly have very little desire to bring Twitch back into it again. I kind of want to just not do Twitch anymore, just because it pisses me off sometimes, just thinking about how terrible the streams look over there. Despite my best efforts, they say, you should probably stream at 2,000 kbs, bits per second, and it'll, it's a little bit lower quality, but then people won't be buffering all the time. I'm like, you know what? It's time for them to innovate. It's time for them to get back up to speed with how everything else plays out. And this idea that there's haves and have-nots on there, it wouldn't be bad if it was just some people have a sub button and have emotes and some people don't. That wouldn't be so bad. It's some people can actually produce a quality experience for their viewers and others can't. That's what pisses me off about it. and from a technology's perspective. It's not from a they don't have a talent perspective. It's more of a, I mean, obviously I have no talent. I'm fine with it having no talent. And if that was the reason people weren't around, that'd be great. But I keep feeling like it's not only that, but also the fact that, you know, they can't sit there for 5 minutes and watch a stream without it stuttering and sputtering and dying on them. So there's that. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I'm kind of thinking of just cutting Twitch out of it, focusing on one streaming service, maybe two, and just sort of get my sea legs with that. Because I still feel like, even though I've been doing it for about a year or so, I still don't feel like I understand it. I feel like I'm still very much kind of half-assing it. And, you know, to be fair, I'm half-assing YouTube to a certain extent, but I don't feel I'm half-assing YouTube as much as I used to. I feel like there's actually a little bit slightly more quality on the YouTube, on this channel than there is, say, on my live stream stuff. So those are my thoughts. That's what I'm thinking about. That's kind of the direction I'm going in. And I think I've rambled on far too long, so I think I should probably end that here and say thanks so much for watching and listening and sticking around. Welcome again to all the newcomers to the channel, and yeah, this is just something I do once a month, or try to do once a month, just to kind of talk shop for a little bit. And it does remind me though, you're probably wondering what's going on with the Cube Ramblings, where I generally do a lot of this rambling stuff in there. Nothing in particular. I've just not felt up to it the last couple of weeks, and I don't know when it's going to come back yet. I have to get back into the mood. I want to finish Dungeon Siege, definitely. And that was one of my main reasons for having that. But I need time to just kind of figure out what's going on, because I got a lot of balls in the air right now, and I'm trying to juggle, and I'm struggling at the moment. So I'll have to take a rain check on that question. Suffice to say, I don't intend to remove that series. I intend to actually come back to it. I don't know when yet, because my weekends. It doesn't help that my weekends have been a kind of a weird mishmash as it is. So that's the only other question that I forgot to address earlier on. So again, yes, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.